Pontefract cakes, or Pomfret cakes, the licorice confection which was invented and is still made in huge quantities in this quiet Yorkshire town. Three things made Pontefract famous for licorice confectionery. About 1760, when licorice was still used chiefly as a medicine, a Pontefract druggist, George Dunhill, had the happy thought of mixing it with sugar. The result was the raw material of the famous cakes. Nowadays, flour and glucose and treacle are boiled with the hard, dark lumps of pure licorice extract. The second thing was the invention of a mixture that sells as widely as the famous cakes, licorice all sorts. The mixture was originally an accident caused by a convivial commercial traveller who got his samples mixed. It's a good story anyway. Unlike Pontefract cakes, licorice all sorts have changed with the times. There are more sorts nowadays. But the first and most important accident was that when medieval monks tried to grow the Mediterranean licorice plant in England, one of the very few places where soil conditions were right was Pontefract. This is what the licorice plant looks like above ground. Pretty miserable sight just now, though in summer it carries fine leaves and rather pretty flowers. But this is where your licorice comes from, the root of the plant. This is the root which, if you're over 40, you probably chewed dried as a child. It's still chewed by children in some places today, notably in Manchester. The ancients knew and valued the juice from this root as a medicine and a thirst quencher. There are references to this plant in Assyrian tablets cut 700 years before Christ. The word licorice itself comes from the two Greek words used to describe the plant, sweet root. A good description, because the juice from this contains a substance which is said to be the sweetest thing in the world, an extract 50 times sweeter than sugar. Today, licorice has unexpected uses, as a foaming agent in beer and as a curing substance in tobacco. And an extract is used for firefighting foam. Once, when the confectionery factories used local plants, licorice was grown in walled gardens all around old Pontefract. But for many years now, the factories have imported the extract, and today there are only 5 acres here still under licorice. Mr. Thorner, is the licorice you grow here at Pontefract as good in quality as the licorice they import from Italy and Turkey?
Oh yes, quite as good. Better, if anything.
Better in what way?
It's fresher with licorice, all told.
Not bitter?
No, it's fresher and sweet. It's very sweet licorice.
Well, then why has growing licorice declined so much?
Well, it's difficult to get up, and wages being what they are, and young men today won't tackle the job the same as they used to do.
Why not?
Well, because it's too hard work for young men today.
Oh, why can't you mechanize?
Well, because it damages licorice. Machines would damage licorice.
And yet in a few years there may not be a single plant of all the former thousands growing here at Pontefract, where it's been grown continuously since the Middle Ages, unless, of course, the town council preserve a symbolic plot to remind citizens of the origin of a trade that's made their town famous.